today is how to use a Boss OC-3 pedal, Super Octave, as a pretend bass player for your band. It can be done. It sounds decent. Disclaimer, obviously having a bass player is better than doing it this way. I'm a bass player. My wife plays bass. Like, bass is rad, and you should always have a bass player if you can. But sometimes you're in a crunch, and you need to pretend you have one. So this is how to set that up. So here we have my Boss OC-3 pedal. The key to setting this up is going to be to have the guitar and the bass go to two different outputs. So you can do guitar in here, but then over here the direct out is going to go to your guitar, signal chain. So I have it going into my pedal board and then into a guitar amp. And then the output mono is going to be just the bass octave, and I have that going to a bass amp. It also works to like a DI box or something. But then you can send that stuff to the sound guy or whatever separately and mix them accordingly. So your knobs on the OC-3, this is your guitar volume. This is going to be your bass volume. You have to have this in poly mode for this to work. And then this is the range, which is where on the guitar's neck it's going to start imitating a bass. Dialing this in is going to be one of the key things to setting this up. Let me go over that. So you don't want it to kick in too far up the neck, or else every chord you make is going to turn into a muddy mess. In an ideal situation, what you're trying to do here is have like the lowest string that you're playing become the bass, and then every other string be unaffected. So where I have tended to dial it in is somewhere around like D, because that way you have access to every note, and then it kind of cuts out on these strings. Right here, I should have, if I play on the low E, it's going to pretty much always kick in. And then on the A, it goes up a certain ways. But you can hear when I get up to these notes, it stops being a bass, which is what you want. So in my case, I have dialed in this range knob to be at like 11 o'clock, almost straight up. If you tweak it this way, it'll go further up your guitar neck, and if you lower it, it'll kick in even lower. So I have it like here, and that seems to be working for me for what I'm doing. So the other key to pulling this off, once you have the pedal dialed in and you're sending it to two different amps, is going to be in your playing style. Because the way I have this dialed in right now, if I play like a G, it'll do it. But if I play a D, it will also do it. So if I were to do like this power chord, it's pretty messy. So you want to phrase your chords in a way that hopefully they only have one note in this range. So if I were doing a G with this pedal on, I would probably try to do it where I'm not playing anything on the A string and just do kind of like, and then you can hear I'm getting a guitar full chord and then just the G note on bass. And then likewise, if I was doing like C, it would still probably bass this note. So I want to do kind of like a C5 really. But that sounds pretty nice. And then the further you get up the neck, the less you have to worry about that. Like a D here is going to be fine. So you want to just watch what chords you're making, and then if you have it separate like this so that it's going out to a guitar pedal board like separately from the bass signal, then you can even kick on distortion and effects and stuff and it won't mess it up. So here is this thing dialed in to be my fake bass player, and then some effects and stuff on the guitar. So you can do whatever you want to the guitar signal without affecting what the bass is doing, the bass. So it sounds pretty decent. It'll fill in that low end where the bass is supposed to be, and to like, an untrained observer, it would really not sound so different from just having like a pretty boring bass player. The kind of chords that work best with this are anything that's just the high strings and then one low note, so like, or else, you know, if you do things that are even just on maybe like two strings, like, and then if you're doing more like acoustic music, which I've done this on an acoustic guitar too, you can hit that low note and then arpeggiate some stuff and like just let it ring out. So it would be like having the bass just play whole notes or something, which would be, you know, like. And that's how you can do a local H thing and have no bass player at all.